What's up guys, welcome to today's video. As you saw by the title, we're going to learn how to calculate our macros. So I'm going to go through, just one example, but I want you to take the knowledge that I give you and kind of apply it and kind of translate it into, something for yourself. A lot of what I'm going to be referencing is actually coming from this meal prep cookbook. I'll put the link in the description, that way you guys can find the book if you guys are interested in purchasing it on your own. But what I'm going to give you guys is just the very basic knowledge about how to calculate your macros. Why is this important? You want to know, how much you need to eat in order to bulk up, cut down, or maintain. The first thing that you're going to want to know is your total daily energy expenditure. So basically, it sounds fancy, but pretty much you just want to know how many calories your body is going to burn. So on average, a lot of people burn between like 1,700 to 2,300 depending on male or female, and there's a lot of things to consider. You can also, if you want to get really dialed in, you can actually do a metabolic rate test. Some places do that, some gyms do it, wherever you can do it. If you really want to dial in and really figure out how many calories your body burns at a natural state or whatever, just go ahead and figure that out. We're just going to kind of roughly estimate in this video. So today what I'll be going through is we're going to approximate like 180-pound male and about how many calories and grams of protein, fat, and carbs that this person should intake. And we're going to look at it from about a cut standpoint. So the first thing right off the bat, we want to know about how many calories is this person going to be eating. So for a 180-pound male, we're thinking between the range of 1,900 to 2,200 calories. This could depend on a lot of different factors as far as your metabolic rate and all that kind of stuff, but we're just going to assume that this person is active and 180 pounds. So the first thing right off the bat, we're going to start off with a full calorie for the day amount. And so what we picked today is going to be 2,100 calories. So the target range that we're trying to hit for this individual is going to be 2,100 calories. This is going to be ideal for a cut. So for instance, the way that we're going to go into it is we're going to start off with the protein. This is going to be the first and most easiest one to kind of get into. So we'll take 2,100 calories for the day, and what we're going to do is we're going to have, like I said, 180 pound body weight. So we're going to do 180. We're going to multiply that by 1 to 1.2 grams per pound of body weight. So for example, we're going to do 1.2, so 180 times 1.2, 216. And that's how many grams of protein that this individual is going to consume. So if you're interested in wanting to know about how many calories that's going to equal, just remember 4, 4, and 9. There's 4 calories per gram of protein, carbs, and in fats we actually have 9. So the first thing that we're going to do is multiply 216 times 4, and we come up with 864. So 864 calories in our daily expenditure is going to be coming from protein. The next thing that we're going to be looking into is fat. So we're going to take 0.2 or 0.25 depending on what you want to do as far as your fat range, and multiply again by our pound of body weight. So 180 times 0.25, we come up with 45 grams, and that's how many grams we're going to get for our fat intake for the day. If you're curious to see how many calories that's going to be, you just take that and you're going to multiply it by 9. So 405 calories are going to come from fat. Remember, fat is not here to make you fat. Fat and proteins are both essential nutrients, so don't cut them out of your diet. Make sure that they're in there. That's exactly why you can actually go into keto, and that actually works. You can go into low carb and be just fine, because carbs are not necessarily an essential nutrient. However, fat and proteins are, so make sure that you're not just cutting out fats because you think that they're going to make you fat. Now that we figured out our calories from fat and protein, we're going to subtract that from our total daily expenditure. So 2,100 calories is what we're aiming for. We're going to add the calories from fat, which is 405, and then we're going to plus 864 calories from protein. After we do the math on that, we get 830, and that's how many calories are going to come from carbs. So if you're wondering how many grams that needs to be, you just take 830 and divide it by 4, and we get 207. So for this individual in a cut for 2100 calories, we have a 180-pound male, fairly active, ideally going through a cut in this. We have 216 protein, 45 grams of fat, and 207 grams of carbs. Now, depending on what you're trying to do and what your goals are, you can up the carbs, you can, up the fat, down the fat, up the carbs, whatever it may be. You might bring the protein up, whatever it may be. These are kind of like just a rough estimate about how you're going to be. One thing that I do want to talk about when you're doing this is, unless you're going through a bodybuilding show or something, you don't need to be extremely meticulous. However, I would say that a very great tool for you to reach out and get is actually a food scale. You can get them on Amazon for like 10 bucks. And they're a really great tool because you can actually use them and get a little bit more precise in your measurements, and then that way, you're not getting way off track. The next tool that I highly recommend is an app. It's called MyFitnessPal. It's free, and what you can do is actually log in what you're eating for the day. It's awesome. It has a barcode scanner, so if you're eating something right out the wrapper, you just scan the barcode and then it'll pull up the macros for it. Make sure when you're doing that you're doing the right amount of serving sizes. So a big thing is understanding how to read labels, making sure that like if the serving size says 4 and you're eating the whole bag, you're actually eating 4 times what you might have thought that you were eating. So understanding the basics of how to read a nutritional label is going to be very important as you go through and kind of figure out what your calories are for the day, what to expect and everything. And then once you're on a pretty set schedule and you can kind of learn your body, so if you notice like you're maintaining the same weight at this 2100 or 2300 calories, you can go through and cut things back and start dialing in and figure out how many calories that your body needs in order to fluctuate up or down depending on your goals. So if you're bulking, you don't need to be in more than like a 500 calorie surplus, making sure that you're hitting your macros good and hitting them consistently. Like I said, going out and buying like a food scale, they're only like 10 bucks, but it's a really great tool to have because it makes sure that you're actually, hitting those goals very precise and close. I don't want you to get crazy with it, like down to the nearest 0.25 ounces or whatever of chicken. Don't go crazy like that, just hit it approximately and try to start, seeing where you're at. And don't make it too complicated. That's going to be my biggest tip, is don't overcomplicate things. Start it out simple and then kind of see where you're at, gauge everything, and then you can start tweaking it from there, seeing what you want to do with your diet and what you want to do with your physique and everything like that. You might pull up carbs if you're trying to do strength training. You might pull down carbs, whatever your goals may be, you can always go through and tweak, but you need to create a very good baseline. That way you can figure out everything from there and just kind of like tweak and figure out what your body, responds well to. You might respond well to very low carbs. You might respond well to higher fats. Who knows? So pretty much that's going to be how you calculate it in the very beginning. And then once you go through and figure it out, then you can go through, do more tweaks, and actually figure it out really well from there. That's pretty much what I got for today. Thank you guys for tuning in. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff. If you like videos like this and you want to see more, just go ahead and reach out to me. I have social media platforms, Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, whatever it may be. Just go ahead and reach out to me on anything that you can find me on. You might have my personal number. Whatever it is, reach out to me and try to suggest videos. I'm always looking for new ideas. So thank you again, and we'll see you guys next time.